entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay. Welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections for elevating your business. Welcome to Getting the Edge with Kelly Wilson. And here's your host, Kelly Wilson.
Welcome to Getting the Edge. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm your host, Kelly Wilson, and again, just totally thrilled that you've joined us. I know you have a million other options and different shows you could be watching, so I'm very thankful that you decided to be here with us right now at this moment. So again, welcome to Getting the Edge. Super excited to be a part of Edge Business Magazine. For more information, you can check out edgebusinessmagazine.com. Really excited, very happy for our, proud to be sponsored by Pilot Bank, so thank you very much for Pilot Bank, and really happy to be in a new studio today. We are actually at Flavor of Tampa Bay on the corner of, where are we, West Shore and Gandy on the northwest corner, I believe, owned by the infamous Ian Beckles, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. If you're ever in the area, stop by and check it out. We've got a great little market, a great event venue, and just a great spot overall, so really happy to be here and be at Flavor of Tampa Bay today. So again, stop by and check it out. And really excited to be sponsored and partnered with WeBeam TV and Tampa Bay Multimedia. For additional information for them, you can check out tampabaymultimedia.com and webeamtv.com. Again, super excited. We have so much going on with the Edge Business community and magazine. Again, for information, check out our website. But we had a phenomenal launch late September, which was our first annual celebration of women. And wow, what an eventful night, and just it's a great time. You can check out different event pictures on our website and our Facebook page, so definitely check those out. What an honor of mine, and just such a blessing to be able to pay tribute and honor 10 amazing women, and even more than that throughout the entire issue. And I have one of those women with me today, so I'm really excited. We'll talk to Sherry here soon. But again, for more information, definitely subscribe. Check out the issue at edgebusinessmagazine.com. We have our next issue in the works, and another phenomenal issue with a lot of great people coming together, and it's just a great opportunity to highlight some great organizations. So our next launch will be in January. We'll be talking more about that soon and throughout the show. So we have a great show planned for you today, and a great friend of mine, a supporter of Edge for many, many years. And again, she was featured on the cover and in the stories for the first annual celebration of women. Very close to me, Sherry Perri-Anzalone is with us today. Thank you so much for being with us, Sherry.
Thanks for having me, Kelly.
You know, Sherry, other than among being just amazing woman and friend, wife, mother, and business owner, she has been in the insurance business 30 years almost now.
Just about.
And wow. So I figured with insurance and healthcare being such a big issue right now, and November 1st was the beginning for the open marketplace and different things. So we're going to talk the entire show just about, well, not the entire show. We want to talk and get to know Sherry a little bit more too, but just the entire show about insurance. I don't really understand a lot of the marketplace and the Obamacare and the other options, and then thankfully, I'm not near Medicare yet, but just even into some of that. So, and I want to kind of touch on a little bit of all, and I'd love to. I think we're all going to have a much better understanding about all of that after the show. So, Sherry, tell us a little bit about Insure You Exchange, which is Sherry's business, and just a brief background on you and Insure You Exchange.
Well, let's see. I started in the insurance business at 25 years old at Mutual of Omaha. And then when I was 30, I started my own agency, Summit Group Benefits. And as the years went on, I got more into individual insurance as well as group and life and disability. So that's when I started Insure You Exchange. Sort of like when Obamacare came out about 9 years ago. That's when I was really getting more into the individual market. So it's just a division that specializes in individual health insurance.
So you're busy throughout the year, but
Yes.
you're really busy between what, November
1st and December 15th. December 16th is my favorite day.
I bet it is.
The day for myself, and hopefully my phone isn't ringing off the hook, 16 hours a day. So
And then, so 9 years already that we've been dealing with.
With the Obamacare, yes.
I didn't realize it had been
It
9
goes by
years.
fast when you're having fun, right?
So has the market remained pretty stable?
So 9 years ago, we had about 8 or 9 carriers that were going to participate selling, quote, the Obamacare. Gradually, and this after about 3 years, gradually carriers started opting out, dropping out of the market.
That was obviously an option that they had.
Oh, yes, you either play the game or you don't. So right now, we are left with Florida Blue. They've been the major player, and there's a few other Medicaid type HMOs, very, very skinny networks that have entered the market. So we do have about 4 right now. A couple have just entered the market this year, but for a while we were down to like 2 or 3.
That's still not 4.
Yeah.
So 4 options. I mean, I'm sure
Right.
there's multiple options based on characteristics or circumstances or whatever you might qualify for, but still, they only have 4 different
basically
companies.
4 different carriers. But in my opinion, Florida Blue is going to be the carrier of choice. And within the carrier choices, a lot of people, if they go to the marketplace, they get very confused. They're going to see a bronze, a silver, a gold, and a platinum, and the rates are based on your deductibles, your copays. So that's why I feel like they really do need an agent. A lot of people that do attempt it themselves, go into healthcare.gov, find out what a nightmare it is, and then they end up calling an agent anyway.
So and again, it's probably good that I don't know much, because hopefully I'll ask a lot of the questions that we all have. But so Obamacare is for a certain income, right? You have to qualify for Obamacare. So you're making, what are the restrictions?
Okay, so this is what I always try to, because this is a big question that people have a lot. When Obama created the Law Affordable Care Act in March of like 2010, it became a slang name of Obamacare. But the law...
It's actually Affordable Care Act.
Affordable Care Act actually is the law for whether you're receiving a subsidy or not. So when people hear Obamacare, they assume it's just the marketplace and it's just people that are receiving a subsidy.
Subsidy meaning a
tax,
break, a discount?
Exactly.
Okay.
So a subsidy, or otherwise known as a tax premium credit towards the premium. So I'll touch on that a little bit. If somebody's rate, let's just say for a 55-year-old in Hillsborough County, if you were not going to receive a subsidy on a bronze plan, the cheapest plan you can get, it's going to run about $650 a month, which is a lot,
right,
for a lot of people in their budget. So if somebody...
$650 a month?
Yes, if they do not receive a subsidy.
Okay, let's say this again. So a 50, would you say? How
55-year-old, and by the way, with Obamacare, it
but
is...
by himself. A 55-year-old by
himself. A male and
himself.
female, it's not gender rated anymore. It's zip code rated, age, and smoker pays a little more. That's it. So we're not underwriting for health conditions. So no matter if you're totally healthy, like you and I, Kelly, or somebody that literally just had a heart attack and is going through cancer treatment, they're going to pay the same rate that we do.
$650 a month. It's funny. Like, I just think of I think that was my BMW payment like a long time ago. I mean, but
that's a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. And for a family of 4, it could be $1,900 or more a month.
Oh my goodness!
Absolutely.
Without the
that's
subsidy.
A mortgage. Without the subsidy, correct.
If they're not, oh my goodness. Okay, so if they don't qualify for any
premium credits.
Okay.
So,
wow.
Okay. I don't want to scare people. So, the Affordable Care Act, encompasses different essential benefits. Mental and nervous treated as any other illness. The biggie that most people are happy to see is there's no pre-existing.
Right.
They
that was the
ever
biggest.
take that away. That should be a right, like they say. I mean, if somebody needs insurance,
right,
they shouldn't be rated up, and it is guarantee issue. And then they have other little essential benefits, preventative care. We want to focus on prevention. keeping people well. It should be no charge for a mammogram, a pap, a colonoscopy after the age of 50, all of your different testing. But that's the Affordable Care Act. Mostly what people think of, it's guarantee issue. Now, where the marketplace comes in, and this is what I try to explain to people, the marketplace is just a vehicle to process the tax premium credits, and it all matches up with someone's tax return. So, and basically if their adjusted gross income, so if you're self-employed, it's after all of your write-offs, is between $12,700 and around $48,000, then you are going to get some sort of a credit towards that. To give you an example, the lowest level, let's just say somebody adjusted gross, or maybe their W-2 shows around $12,700. Their plan that they're going to receive is a zero deductible, maybe $1 at the doctor, $1 to pick up a generic, and their max out of pocket is around $1,500. It's amazing. And their premium might be, for someone, that 55-year-old that I mentioned, might be around $80 a month or less, depending on the zip code. Now, if they want to go with the bronze plan and have a higher out-of-pocket, higher deductibles, then their premium could actually be zero. So there's people out there at the lower levels, they can get insurance and it's zero premium. So why not get it?
Right, and then you're just paying more as you use it,
You're
but it still
paying more
allows
as you use it,
right, but it's an
exactly.
opportunity to be able to afford it, and then
So at least they have
there's some
something for
options.
catastrophic.
Right. Goodness. It's just, I can remember, like, insurance, it's just changed so much. I remember, like, when the kids were younger, so 15 plus 20, like, years ago, or even, there was no out-of-pocket expense for anything, it seemed, and the policies were so affordable.
Yes. Yeah, well, since the marketplace, or Obamacare, entered the market 9 years ago, I would have to say the average family rate, using this 55-year-old family of four, it was around $600 a month, and now it's around $2,000 a month. So the rates have definitely increased
And
over the last
I'm assuming
night.
that's just from only having 4 major carriers?
That, and mostly because it's guarantee issue.
I see.
People taking the $3,500 a month medication. People that are spending, I had a lady that spent around $400,000 over that course of the year with cancer treatments. So they do add up. One stay at a hospital could be, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 or more. So, and as people know, it does go against your credit. So that's
Right.
the main reason that people do want to get something. So it protects them. Protects their credit.
And I'm not sure if we mentioned that yet, but what was the minimum and I guess the maximum?
So the minimum is $12,700 for next year. It goes up a little bit every year. And the maximum is around $48,000. Now this is the way.
For an individual of one.
Of individual. Now a couple.
Well, an individual is one, I guess.
Yeah, an individual one, yeah. So for
Okay.
like a single tax filer.
Okay.
Let's say somebody that is just married, the kids are gone, or they have no children. The minimum is around $16,500. The maximum is going to be around $65,000. So it's based on the number of people in that household. That's what the subsidy is based on.
Okay. Now, I guess I was going to say, as far as it benefiting, like the Obamacare, it's those that had pre-existing conditions, right? And
Yes.
then lower.
The way I look at it,
Income.
and everybody is going to have a different opinion
Right.
about
Everybody
a
has a
government,
different opinion
about
on everything, right.
About a government program. And as an agent, a broker, being in the business for 30 years, I'm not just looking out like what's best for me. I'm going to recreate myself.
Right.
When Obamacare came in, I actually made more money. It's like that's what life is about, is change. So there's always going to be something. So,
Whether it's insurance or not, it's everything, right?
There'll always be some sort of insurance, whether it's life insurance, whether it's a supplement, which we'll get into. So I want what's best for the country, you know, not just a certain segment of the population. And what I feel is with Obamacare, quote, the Affordable Care Act, it really benefited your lower income individuals. What is happening out there is your middle class, you know, or higher, they're finding it very unaffordable to buy insurance anymore. You know, the doctors, there's not as many doctors that participate in these networks with the Obamacare. So people are finding a hard time finding a doctor. You know, they're skinnier networks, we call them. So the people that don't receive a subsidy, I have ideas for them as well, which we'll touch about later. But you said, who does it benefit? It definitely, absolutely benefits those with pre-existing conditions, no doubt. Every year you can make a change, and it's guarantee issue. No pre-existing, no questions asked. We don't even ask a medical question. And it also benefits.
Oh, so there is no health exam.
No
there's
health
no
exam.
anything.
We don't even ask.
Oh, okay, I see.
It's just basic information. And then the other thing is, of course, I think it benefits the individual making under about $25,000. Their plans are amazing. The deductibles, the co-pays, the out-of-pockets are very, very low. Like I said, it's the individuals making over 48, and it's those families out there making over, family of 4 making over 100. They're the ones that are finding it difficult within this law.
What, I was just going to ask something. We'll go back to that. You had mentioned, we talked about, so if it's not Obamacare, if it's not, you can actually sign up for insurance at any time of the year, right? Unless it's the open marketplace, like with the Affordable Care Act. Is that the only time you can change plans?
Okay, and very good question. This is important. If somebody, and let me tell you why, under the Obamacare law, we have a thing called open enrollment and special election periods. Open enrollment will now pretty much, I think it'll always be November 1st through December 15th. It's a very short window of 6 weeks. That's why we're so crazy busy. Well, okay, so, and the reason that they do that is because, so people don't go without insurance. Like, just like if there's a hurricane in the Gulf and you have no home insurance, you're not going to be getting it now. Right. So if somebody has, you know, been diagnosed with cancer, oh my gosh, I need a hernia surgery. Now I need insurance. So let me go ahead and call Sherry and sign up for insurance anytime you want. Can't do that.
I see.
That's the reason that they have this thing called open enrollment. Now, if somebody gets divorced, they lose their insurance, they leave company benefits, maybe they retire early, then it's called a special election period. They give them 60 days to sign up for an Obamacare guarantee issue type of plan. So, and I'll touch on that in a minute. There are other options that you can sign up throughout the year, but the only time you can sign up with the guarantee issue Obamacare is special election and open enrollment.
Oh my goodness, okay.
Yeah.
So is there still a penalty if you are...
Yep, the penalty actually went away this year.
Okay.
That was something, that was an executive order that Trump put into place. And really, so people, you know, that we're going to talk about in a little bit, that decide to opt out of Obamacare, they're not going to also, you know, pay a premium and also have to pay that 2% penalty of your income.
Okay, so I was going to ask what the cost, 2%.
Well, it was, but now there is no penalty. So basically, I don't know, there's different thoughts on that, why they even had the penalty in the first place. In my opinion,
well, probably to force people
but in my opinion, 2% of their income is not that much. Okay, to give you an example, somebody, you know,
I guess not, considering it was under 48,000.
It's like, it might be, and there was a maximum too, but say the penalty was $600. Well, the premium would be way more than $600.
Right.
You know, people were not going to buy insurance just because, I don't want to pay the the penalty. They bought insurance to protect their assets and to protect their credit. So, you know, the same amount of people are signing up. It's not like, oh, we don't have the penalty now, so less people are signing up. Less people might be signing up because they can't afford the premium, but not because of the penalty. So I'm personally happy that the penalty went away,
Right.
because then it doesn't penalize the people that are healthy, that are more into holistic, keeping you well, which is the best insurance policy you
Right.
can get. And they want to opt out of Obamacare. So actually that was a good thing.
Wow, there's so much to know, which
know.
is why, I mean, you're right. I think it is great to have an agent or somebody that can walk you through this. And you know, most of us are business owners, and we don't have a lot of time either to focus on that and to know what's best.
I mean,
and,
you know what you do, the engineer knows what he does,
Right.
you know, the attorney, the doctor, they focus on what they know. And they should, you know, they shouldn't have to worry about this. And one of the biggest comments, not trying to brag, but one of the biggest comments I always get when I get a referral, we go through the process, I can really go through it pretty quickly within 10 minutes. And by the way, we do everything for our clients. We don't make them pretty much do anything. We babysit them, they're very happy about that. But one of the comments that I get at the very end, and almost consistently, is, wow, this was way easier than I thought it was gonna be.
I can imagine.
They're just shocked that wow, I actually took care of something that was on my to-do list, and I love the plan that I'm getting, and I'm done.
And there's really no extra out-of-pocket expense, is there, to work with?
Exactly. So
I mean, there's nothing to lose, and you're only something to gain by having a
Exactly.
professional on your
Exactly.
side. So
they do what we call navigators in various places, and if you call the marketplace, you know, they're $12, $15 an hour people that are just like thrown in there, a little bit of training. They're never going to know what an agent does, even an agent of 10 years, never mind an agent of 30 years. So they drag the whole process out. They really don't know the nitty gritty. I can give my people advice on, okay, this is the minimum amount you should make, the different brackets, the different levels for the cost share reductions. We can discuss all those things, just like a CPA might do with their client to get them the biggest tax deductions, pay the lowest tax. So, we're advisors. And you're right, it doesn't cost anything to use a broker or an agent.
Right. So why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
And try to navigate that for yourself than to work with, like you said, the 29 years experience. So I know we have Sherry's website and information on the show screen. It's wow, just so much to know. Again, just wanted to say thank you for tuning in with us and learning all about insurance. I think I'm going to get a headache if we don't. It's so much to know. No, I'm kidding. No, and it's something we need to know and be educated on. And that is exactly why Getting the Edge is here for you. It's really we want to talk about products and services, but we want to inform you and share stories and have a lot of fun while we're doing it. And we always try to make it fun. So check out the edgebusinessmagazine.com website in the meantime for any additional questions. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Sherry's feature in the latest issue of Edge Business Magazine, but you can definitely get your own copy on our website. You can subscribe today and have your personal copy delivered to your home or office, so definitely check that out. I'm thrilled to be able to be here. Getting the Edge is, we started out as a radio show for a couple years on the AM channels, and then have transitioned this into this just phenomenal visual podcast, Podvision, as the amazing John Gaston would say. But it's so happy to be here to be able to help connect and share. And again, thank you Pilot Bank for being a sponsor, WeBeam TV, Tampa Bay Multimedia, and again, thrilled to be here at the Flavor of Tampa Bay new studio that we have for now. So again, thanks for being with us. Okay, so a lot more to get to, and we still have quite a bit of time, luckily, to cover some of the things. Let's talk a little bit about the. Do we talk about the individual mandate?
Okay. Yes, we talked about that.
And the law being okay. So that's the 2%. Is that right? Okay.
That's gone.
And we talked about the out-of-pocket expense with
Yes.
Obamacare. There is some, there is not some. It kind of just depends what you qualify for and the product that you choose.
They choose. So basically, I feel like there's something for everyone to fit their individual needs. Not everyone's going to choose the same thing, because somebody goes to the doctor once a month, somebody hasn't been to the doctor in 5 years. So it really just depends on that individual person's needs.
So what about term medical?
Okay, so now, before we get into term, yeah.
I think you get excited when we talk about this. Like you kind of start like lighting up and glowing.
It's an alternative, but before we get into
Well,
that.
just insurance, period. That's what's another reason it's so great to talk with someone that has.
I love what I do.
You do.
People probably think I'm crazy.
No, I think
but
it kind of goes back to like just being what we're good at, and you truly are passionate about the insurance and helping people and helping your clients and making a difference and making anyway just.
Yeah, a lot of my clients, and I'll just give you.
You've been a pleasure to work with.
I'll just give you an example, because it just happened last week, and it was sad, because a lot of my clients become friends, and I've had some of my clients, believe it or not, for 30 years. They're still with me through all of the changes that we've been through. Well, so last week, and these 3 women that called me were about the same age as I am. That's what scared me the most. That they called, I'm probably one of the first people that they call, that they were diagnosed with cancer. Oh. Breast cancer, lung cancer, and ovarian. And, different situations, they all have good insurance, so they're all going to be taken care of, but it just really makes you think. And one thing I want to just point out, because the out-of-pockets are a lot higher now, and let's just say you don't have a cost share reduction, your out-of-pocket's $8,000. That's a lot to come out with, and you're going to meet it if you're diagnosed with cancer or if you're admitted in the hospital. So there's actually riders that people can add on to the policies that will give you a lump sum payment if you're diagnosed with a critical illness or if you're admitted in the hospital. And just yesterday I had another client that called. His brother is also a client that just had a triple bypass. He's still in the hospital. So, I feel like if we can eliminate the stress of having that out of pocket with the rider, which might be $30 to $40 extra a month, I think it's worth it.
So is the rider an additional policy then that you're adding to
cover your out of pocket expense on the main policy?
And can that be somewhat affordable?
Yeah, like I said, that's like, 20 really for a younger person, up to $30, $40, $50 a month as you get older.
I see.
It's not a lot. So a lot of people, I'm going to really recommend that, just because it just seems like I'm getting more and more phone calls with these critical illnesses.
Well, and unfortunately, it doesn't discriminate of age either. I had a meeting this morning, and we were talking, and and her son has colon cancer at 31, and he's been battling and dealing with colon cancer for the last few years. So probably 28-ish, is about when he was diagnosed, and.
Yeah, it's true. It's not just when you get into your 50s. It's I get calls in their 30s, even 20s, children, so yeah, and the time to get it, just like yesterday, goes, oh, well, can we get a rider to cover the deductible? Yeah, you buy the rider before you have the heart attack, unfortunately, because then you have a pre-existing condition to get the rider.
Right.
So
the rider has to be purchased at the time.
Before you have the cancer and the heart attack diagnosis, before you go in the hospital. Before you have any pre-existing, absolutely. So getting into the term medical. Trump just 2 months ago expanded the term medical for those that want to opt out of Obamacare. There's many reasons that people want to opt out. A, they're definitely not receiving the subsidy. And so we're looking at that $650 a month for a 55-year-old.
Right.
And they maybe are more believers of holistic medicine, and they just don't have any pre-existing conditions. They don't really take a lot of medications. If they do, a great go-to website is GoodRx. I tell all my clients.
I've heard of that.
It's awesome. You can get drugs pretty cheap there, and it shows you where you can get the drugs, CVS, Walgreens, where they're going to be the most affordable. And they even have mail order. So
is that with insurance, without insurance?
Anybody can get that.
Okay.
You log in, it's free to get. I tell all my clients about the GoodRx website. And also, like if they don't have any mental and nervous conditions, and they don't need maternity. So because those are all mandates under the Obamacare that cause the rate to be $650. So under a term medical, that same individual can get a lower deductible, a better network, nationwide network, for around $300 a month. So they're going to save around $350 a month that they can use towards, I call it the good stuff.
Because it's not the, like you said, the OB. I mean, it's not, it doesn't have these other.
It doesn't have maternity.
Right, that's what I meant.
But if
Right,
you don't
okay.
need maternity,
Right.
you don't have any pre-existing conditions, why am I going to pay $650 a month? I'm personally on a term medical. I've been on it for 4 years. Like I said, Trump just expanded it.
Expanded meaning?
Expanded the term medical. It used to be where you had to rewrite the plan every year. Now we can write it for 3 years. We can't do it forever, per se, because then they would have to abide by the Obamacare, Affordable Care Act law. So they're sort of thinking outside the box. Washington obviously can't get anything done. They can never agree and vote on anything. So this is sort of like, in my opinion, the next best thing. If you're not going to be able to get something passed up there, let's at least have something. I'm not saying it's perfect.
Right.
Because neither of them are perfect. But at least it's something until they figure it out up there. But you still have to have insurance while they're figuring out
Right.
what is going to be the best plan for everyone, the majority of the American people, not just a certain segment of the population. So with the term medical, what a lot of people do, including myself, is they use the savings to go into maybe a concierge doctor, a holistic functional medicine doctor. I've been going to functional medicine for probably 25, 30 years myself.
So let's talk about functional medicine. What does that mean?
So a holistic functional medicine is a doctor that is going to spend an hour with you when you go in to see them. Not like, okay, your 7 minutes are up, get
Right.
out. Oh, okay, so you're experiencing these symptoms. Okay, here's your prescription. Your blood pressure was a little high when you came in. Maybe you're a little nervous.
Right.
Okay, here's your atorvastatin drug. Here's your, cholesterol med because your cholesterol is a little
Right.
over.
Now it's time to go.
You know what I mean? Okay, get out
Right.
next. And they have to do it because they're getting paid such a small amount. Doctors have to make money. Oh my God, they went to med school.
Right.
They spent a lot of money on that. So they need to make a lot of money. I agree. So they got to do what they got to do.
Right.
But a lot of doctors have opted out of that rat race, and they're trying to go more into holistic medicine. I mean, don't get me wrong, we still need doctors to see everyone, and hopefully they're not all going to drop out, kind of a thing. But there are a handful that have opted out of it. Yeah, it's going to cost you probably $150 for the office visit. Well worth it. They're going to sit down with you, especially as you know, when you get older as a female, you go through hormonal changes.
Right.
They're going to do with the $3,500 blood work that might cost you $300. Get to the bottom of why you're having these symptoms. Explain it to you so you understand, and put you on whether it's an herb, a hormone replacement. Let's lose weight. Let's focus on, you can control diabetes, heart disease, blood pressure, usually with diet and exercise. So they're sort of like your wellness coach to
So
keep
is
you
it an
well.
option then for everything that might be wrong, or just more
Certain things, obviously.
hormonal, or
well, no, I mean,
or I guess holistic could be. There's a holistic approach to every
to
type
everything.
of illness.
I mean, there's certain illnesses. I mean, you've got to see a specialist.
But does
don't get me wrong.
holistically mean that they typically aren't going to take insurance?
Um,
So you
some
that's
do,
why you're going to pay some out of pocket.
Some do, some don't.
Okay.
So some of them actually do, and then you're going to get the discounted rate. So you really got to shop that, find a doctor you like. But what it does as well is you can do acupuncture. You can go get your monthly massages. Maybe a little Botox, maybe a little this, maybe a little that as you get older. So it creates a bucket of money, in my opinion, to do the fun stuff.
Right.
Get a massage. Buy all your supplements. Buy, which as you know can be very
Right.
expensive. Your protein shakes, all of that kind of stuff. So that, like I said, the term medical, I'm so excited about it because it now gives the other segment of the population that make over $50,000 a year for an individual, 100,000 family, an option to not spend $2,000 a month on Obamacare, and they're still going to have the protection that they need. It's a major medical, so it just gives them another option, and then they can use that money for other things.
What is, you see the commercials all the time, like for AARP, like, what is that? Is that a subsidy, or is it?
AARP, I believe you're eligible when you turn 50.
Okay.
I think that's the magic number. But okay, so AARP has been around for years, and they do not give any kind of discounts for under 65 health insurance or anything like that. Travel, auto, home, all different things. But mostly Medicare.
Okay.
We're
going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about Medicare last. So that's basically, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else on the term medical.
I guess Aflac, it was maybe the thing I was thinking about.
Aflac is going to be like the rider I just explained for accidents, hospital, critical illness. Aflac, the little duck.
Yeah.
You get that
Clever.
at work. So if you don't, like if you're self-employed, entrepreneur, somebody that has a smaller business, maybe retired early, these sort of things, that's the right. You're not going to get the Aflac because you don't work at a corporation.
Okay.
But you can still get the same products that Aflac sells on an individual basis.
Okay. But you're able to help small businesses with group policies?
Exactly. Now, there's a new thing that was just passed about not even a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, that is actually going to help small business. And let me tell you, for small businesses, they have a couple of choices. A business owner is going to implement or put in a group insurance policy to attract and retain their
good employees, right?
You know what I mean? So they have a couple of choices. They can get a group policy, which, by the way, under group policies, we still have a lot of players. We still have, of course, Florida Blue, United Healthcare, Aetna, Humana, Cigna, and there's different options there. Okay, so you are definitely going to get more options under a group, larger networks. But let's say that they have a smaller workforce, maybe under 10 employees. It could be more actually, and they're more of a lower income type employee. The way it used to be is maybe they'll pay 50% of the employee only, and then they have to add their family. Well, the family might be $1,500 a month.
Right.
Somebody making $30,000 a year is not going to afford $1,500 a month to add their family. But because the business offered group insurance, they were not allowed to go and get a subsidy from the marketplace, and they weren't allowed to. The business owner was restricted from giving any kind of help towards their premium if they bought it through the marketplace individually. Well, now with the new HRA, that stands for Health Reimbursement Arrangement.
There's so much to know.
Well, but this is another thing that's awesome. That was just an executive order that was just passed by Trump. But so now, to give you a scenario, this $30,000 employee, maybe $50,000, maybe even $100,000 a year employee, they have a mom and dad, 2 kids. So now they can go to the marketplace. They can get that subsidy, which is probably like $1,000, $1,200, $1,300 a month subsidy. Okay, so they're using government money. Hey, it's there, you might as well take it. The employer might say, okay, I'll throw in, $200, $300 a month towards your insurance. It might cost them $50 a month, $100 a month, which would have cost $1,800 a month.
Otherwise.
And they can set it up on a payroll deduction. And maybe some people want to go, maybe they don't, maybe that person makes individual $100,000 a year. They don't get a subsidy. They want to get the term medical. They can get the term medical.
How are small business owners educated with this information, that there are these options?
Well,
I mean, is there?
Yeah, most of they're going to be educated by their agent or broker.
Which is
there's
why
been
it's so
stuff
important to have an agent or a broker.
Exactly. I mean, there's been stuff in the Wall Street Journal, different business emails. Of course, I'm going to get all those emails as a broker. But if I sat down with the business owner, I'm going to listen to what their goal is and what their problems and try to come up with some solutions. Maybe their best bet is going with the group. Maybe their best bet is going with the HRA. So I'll be able to put that together for them and present it.
And so what was the name of that?
HRA, Health Reimbursement Arrangement.
Good to know.
HRA for sure. If you Google it, you're going to be able to get lots and lots of information about it.
Honestly, even between the HRA and then the term medical and just some of the different options that we wouldn't know are available if we didn't have a professional educating us. And again, there's no extra cost to having a professional. So
exactly. And now that we're talking about that, I just want to throw something out because I know a lot of your listeners are entrepreneurs, small business owners. Another thing that I really am an advocate of is HSAs.
Okay.
Not to confuse people between
not to confuse us at all.
But a lot of people, HSAs have been around for probably about 18, 19 years. I'd have to look up that, but a long time. So an HSA is a health savings account.
Okay.
Most people out there are familiar with health savings accounts. Every year they phase up the amount you're allowed to contribute. Let's just say it's $3,500 individual, $7,000 family. So as an entrepreneur, business owner, I can self-insure all the little stuff. You can use it with the term medical, with an HSA account. Maybe it's a $6,000 deductible. And then I need additional tax deductions, right? It's a line item tax deduction. It's the best tax deduction out there. And the reason is because I'm going to deposit let's say I'm a family, $7,000 into the account, and then I'm going to write that off on my taxes. When I go to use it for medical, dental, the kids need braces, Invisalign, $5,500, whatever. Now I've got this bucket of money sitting there that I'm going to use for all of those expenses, and I'm using pre-tax dollars. So as long as I keep that little bucket of money earmarked for the rest of my life for medical, dental, long-term care, things in the future, I'm never going to pay taxes on the money. Whereas with the 401k, you write it off, you reap the benefit now with the deduction, but when you go to withdraw, you're going to pay taxes on the money.
Right.
So that's why the HSA is, if you're a small business owner, I think that's the way to go, is go ahead and max out your HSA every year so you can start building up the account.
Wow, great information. And really, there is a lot to know, but you do simplify it somewhat.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I try to make it very simple.
Yeah, you do. And really, again, and just kind of enlightening us on some other options, because I think so much of the time, the talk, it's so negative. And it really, there are some options that it can make, we can make it work.
Well, see, I'm a kind of person, I'm a results person and a solutions person. I'm not going to sit around and bitch, if I kind of say that, about oh my gosh, this is terrible and this is horrible.
Right.
And listen to what the media tells you.
Right.
Because honestly, in almost everything, you can probably try to find something. Yeah, it may not be perfect or great but it's probably pretty
Some
good.
silver lining, right? You can make it work.
And instead of sitting around complaining, find an agent that knows all of these different things and try to find out what is best for you so you don't get stuck the person that has that $100,000 bill and then doesn't know how they're going to pay for it.
Right. And then I think probably a lot of that too is making sure before you go to doctors or you go to hospitals or you do anything or you get prescriptions or you get blood work done, know where you should be going, what you should be doing, and exactly what doctors are what.
Yes, it's definitely better to stay in network.
Right.
So you always want to ask if they're a participating provider with your plan. Absolutely.
Right.
Because there's about between a 30 to 50% discount if you use a participating provider.
Right. So let's talk about Medicare just a little bit. What is the age for Medicare?
So when you turn 65,
okay.
And a funny joke with a lot of my clients right now that are approaching their 65th birthday, they're like, I never knew I never thought I would ever want to get older.
Right.
This is the first time I'm like, I can't wait to get 65 for a lot of people, because then they go on Medicare, they're A and B, A hospital, B doctor. You pay into the system, through your Medicare, tax, so that Medicare Part A is no charge to you, and B starts off at about $135 a month, and it goes up based on your income. So somebody that made, and it's based on your income from 2 years ago, but somebody that's making over $500,000 a year, they might pay $430 for that Part B. So it's called IRMA. It is based on your income.
Okay.
But so once they get their Part A and B and they sign up through Medicare.gov, then they're going to get a supplement, some sort of a supplement to fill in the gaps. And that's when an agent comes into the picture.
Okay.
Is to fill in the gaps. So I don't know if you wanted to talk about that now.
Yeah, what is the difference between, is that the Advantage plan and the
So
gap, the
this is the
Medigap?
way a lot of people, it's so funny. And I have to admit myself, because I've been in the business 30 years and I've only been in Medicare for about 10. I really didn't want to get into Medicare. I didn't need to. I was doing life and group. But it is confusing. So when they're about 6 months out of turning 65, you're going to get lots of brochures in the mail. Right now, you're going to see all the ads because it's open enrollment for Medicare, which, by the way, is October 7th through, October 15th through December 7th. So that's why you're seeing all the ads for the Advantage plans. So what I try to tell my referrals and clients that are aging into 65 is you can really boil it down to this. Don't listen to all this. You don't even have to read all that stuff. I want to paint the big picture to them, and then we're gonna narrow it down to choice. So the big picture is this: once you sign up for your A and B, you have to figure out which road you're going to go down. Are you going to go down a Medigap supplement, which is like the best way you can go, and I'll explain that in a minute, which is going to run the average person about $200 a month in the Hillsborough County area.
Okay.
Or you can go down a Medicare Advantage route, which is typically going to be a zero premium, which people don't understand. Well, how is it zero? So this is what I explained to them. The Medicare supplement or gap is going to fill in all the gaps that Medicare Part A and B don't. The deductibles, the 20%, the excess charges. Maybe you travel, you're going to start traveling overseas. It's going to cover all of that, where your out-of-pocket is virtually almost like zero.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that is amazing. And you can use any doctor anywhere in the country, as long as they accept Medicare. So there isn't a PPO network that you have to stay, with them.
So there's some advantages of getting older.
Well, yes, that definitely with the Medicare supplement. So, but some people are like, well, I don't know, that's a lot, and especially because you got to add your $135 a month plus your $200.
Oh, I see.
So it's like $335 a month. Now you've got your husband and wife. That could be a big piece of their budgeting.
Right.
So they came out with a thing called, and by the way, Medicare has been around for about 54 years. It came out 54 years ago. I always know because it was basically when I was born, so I always remember that. So it's been around for a very, very long time. But more recently, they came out with a thing called Medicare Advantage. With Medicare Advantage, people say, well, this sounds like too good to be true. How does this work? Well, okay, it's zero premium, and think of it as a package. What they're going to do is they're going to put in your doctor visits, your hospital prescriptions. They're going to maybe throw in a dental, a vision, hearing aids. Some of them include transportation to and from the doctor, and a fitness gym memberships through like Silver Sneakers or something. So all of that is a package, and that is called Plan C. Okay, so you got A and B, now you got C. The way the Advantage works is you're gonna, even though it's a zero deductible, every time you go to use it, you're gonna pay a copay. It might be zero at a PCP, 15 to 30 at a specialist, $100 to $300 a day if you're admitted in the hospital. So every time you use it, you're going to experience a copay, a small copay, but in those copays are going to accumulate towards an out-of-pocket. So the out-of-pocket is going to be much higher than what you're going to see over with a supplement gap, which could be next to nothing.
Right.
this might be 3,000 to 5,000. Most people never reach their out-of-pocket. I think they say 1.8% of the population even comes close to reaching that out-of-pocket. So it's not a bad plan. You do have to stay within the network. They have HMOs and PPOs. I prefer the PPOs. You don't have to get referrals. The network is a lot larger, and they approve more of your treatment protocols. So PPO would be something that I would lean towards. But you do have to go in, you have to stay in the network. And when you travel, you have to make sure you're in the network. So that's the difference between a supplement gap and a Medicare Advantage. Once the person says, so you know, what kind of person are you? And they say, some people already know, I want the gap. I don't mind paying the money. I want to go where I want to go.
Right, without having to worry about paying
exactly.
up front and then being
zero out of
reimbursed.
pocket.
Right.
You know, that's what I want. And other people are like, you know what? I like that zero deductible or zero premium sounds real good to me.
Right.
So then they're going to, and it doesn't matter to me which way they go. Sometimes they'll say, well, what do you recommend, or what would you do? That's something I really can't recommend. That has to be a personal choice. You know, my job and my role in all of this is to make sure they understand the difference between a gap.
And the, right.
Because a lot of people, they don't get it. That's a very complicated, confusing thing. So as long as they understand the difference between the two and what they're going to cost for the rest of their life, because usually they're going to stay on that road, the Medigap or the Medicare Advantage. So that can really add up over the years if they're going to be paying out that $200 a month.
Right. Wow. It really is a lot to know with all of it. But you do make it simple, you know. And again, we've had multiple conversations just about options, and it definitely seems that there's even more available out there between some of the term medical and some of that expansion and some of the other different programs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah, so I can help people that are receiving a subsidy, not receiving a subsidy on individual market, under 65, over 65, and then of course life insurance if they need to. We're not going to talk about that, but if they need to protect, their family.
So you're able to do all of that and handle
yes. The only thing I don't do, and I never will probably get involved with, is your property and casualty, like your home and auto. I'm probably not going to do that.
Right. Wow. It's so much to know, but that's why we have agents and 29, 30 years experience and someone that we can go to. So I highly recommend Sherry Perri-Anzalone for all of your healthcare needs. Again, right now, I know you're crazy busy, but you have time. She's here with us today. So, there's definitely time. So reach out to Sherry if you have any questions in regards to anything that we've covered. And then luckily, this is on video, so you can go back and watch it over again, and kind of, if you have any information that we maybe went through too fast, you can go back and
or they
watch
can
it.
just call me.
All
and
right, there you go.
I'll explain it to them usually in 5 minutes, and they'll, okay, I get it.
No, we don't have too much time left, but again, I've had the pleasure of knowing and being good friends with Sherry now for quite some time, and I just want to say thank you for all of your support with Edge over the
absolutely.
years. Sherry has an amazing, just the neatest son, Jared Dorsey, who's been a part of Edge as well for years and has a business, Everything Outdoors, which if you read Sherry's article in the latest issue of Edge, you'll read about it. But and just kind of wanted to do a little shout out for Everything Outdoors and your holiday lighting and some different things that you have going on right now with that. What is the website for the Everything Outdoors?
Well, everythingoutdoors.biz.
.biz. I knew it was different at the end. So
Everythingoutdoors.biz.
everythingoutdoors.biz. If you're looking for holiday lighting, we're at that time of the year. Definitely check out Everything Outdoors. And just one of the reasons I wanted to feature Sherry in the first annual celebration of women was just her commitment to being a mother, and just there were so many reasons, obviously, to include you. But I just think some of the times we have, we make so many sacrifices, for our kids. And not only are you this amazing, guru of insurance, you've really helped Jared with his business and keeping that going. He just returned back from college, is back now after being gone for 4 years. And Sherry's been a big part of maintaining that business and keeping it going. You're just phenomenal.
Well, thank you.
You are. Well, you just, Jared's been very lucky to have you and the entire family, really. So that's really exciting. You have a lot going on with everything outdoors and some new space there and a new building that you're going
Yep.
into. So that's really exciting. One of the trivia things with Sherry is, and again, you should read the article, but one of her first sales opportunities or sales jobs was selling encyclopedias door to door, and you were like the top winner.
Yeah, so when I was almost 19 years old, I was between my freshman and sophomore year, I just answered an ad, needed a summer job. And I thought it sounded pretty good. Of course, they build it up when you go to the meeting, like, oh, you're going to make all kinds of money. So I tried it. Of course, back then we didn't have the internet. You couldn't
Right.
just, Siri, and get the answer. It was the old-fashioned way.
Right.
This is.
You had to look them up in books. I don't even remember now how they
Yeah, almost
were.
like 35. Oh, I know. I don't even remember doing that, right?
But almost every home had an encyclopedia set.
Encyclopedia. So what we did was we went around and sold basically a learning system for the families, which included encyclopedias where they could pay on a monthly basis, make it affordable. So in that summer, I think I made like $14,500, and then won a trip to London. So it was great. It was a great little summer job, and being underneath such an amazing sales leader, which, by the way, the sales leader of that company, which I felt taught me so much, was such a motivator, probably the best sales motivator that you ever want to meet. Just recently passed away, like a couple of weeks ago, yeah. And but they basically taught us everything that I know, and they brought in college students, and you can make a lot more money than just like waiting tables, and you learned a lot. I mean, it was tough, but I feel like it really taught me a lot
It
at
was
such a
part
young
one of those
age.
stepping stones
Yeah.
too that led you to where
Right.
you are today. And I think that's, when I talk with my daughter or anyone, that's kind of it's always just take a step. So
Yep.
well, thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you so much for sharing all your information and your knowledge about the healthcare market and all of the different options. Again, please reach out to Sherry Perri-Anzalone for all of your insurance needs. And in the meantime, you can check out edgebusinessmagazine.com for all the additional information. And again, thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you next week on Getting the Edge. Until then, never stop dreaming.